What I was trying to do as the writer was establish music. So we know immediately that's the downbeat. When Mr. Marsalis opened his music with the drums, as the Western song says, he had me at hello. Just the very first. But then he heard what I was saying about the music, and he enlarged it. And this poem on its own is all right. And maybe his music on its own is all right. But when the two are together, they are really quite wonderful.
When I read the poem, it was interesting how she got the entire history of the Afro-American music and the meanings and things in there, so it was very easy to write music to it. She has everything in there, from blues to the sound of the drum to contemporary music, bebop, different types of jazz. To me, the poem is music.
One of the things that encouraged me to write the poem was the knowing the history and knowing the field hollers and the slave chants of the 18th century, some of those that have been kept, when the music was still very African, and you could almost hear the European influence. So whether the song was, "Water boy, where are you hiding?" You could hear the melody, the flats and the sharps in it.
For me, the progression is from African to Afro-American to American. Okay, so African is just a pure dance with the drums. Afro-American is the church sound, the church meeting sound, the one drum, the kind of. Then American is tap dancing.
My piece starts with the drum, with the downbeat. The dancer comes in barefoot, on the river's edge, on the ocean edge. This is leaving Africa, on the beat of one. And so the dance is not tap because there's no resonance to be gotten from the sandy shore. But it does progress. And there's even some resonance to be heard on the ship deck, but there's no reason to dance. Finally, to save oneself, to save your soul, you dance, just as you sing, to save your soul. So by the time the slave was on a wooden floor, tap dancing could begin.
When she said a sideways trumpet blew a night in Tunisia, she's talking about Dizzy's trumpet is tilted up. So I love the song, and I embrace all of the traditions of everything that I know about. So when she put in little things about Dizzy, then I'll take a night in Tunisia. In this version, we did a night in Tunisia in 5/4, and normally it's in 4/4. So I don't know that we'll do that this time, but I always try to play a little different because Dizzy always told me, play your own thing.
When Wynton Marsalis added the beat in Tunisia, he enriches it, and it appears to be difficult. And it's not easily counted.
One, two, three, four. Now all of a sudden it's ding, 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 ding. So when you put that extra beat in there, you gotta keep your mind on it.
Wynton Marsalis has the right to change Duke Ellington and Gillespie and everybody else, and Mozart. The truth is, each one of us has the right to add to. You see, a thing that is little known is a spiritual was never full blown. People added because the slaves who sang a verse this way someone would get sold, and they'd go to another plantation, and they'd teach that verse over there, and somebody would add to it. And not to violate it, but to enhance it, enrich it.
And that's the same approach I would take to playing A Night in Tunisia. When I play it, I'm not going to play it the way he played it. I'm improvising and making my own way of playing it. That's the way he would have wanted you to play it. And also, that's what the tradition of our music is. It is, you play it and you interpret it your way because that's the way that we play. Improvisation is one of our most powerful tools. So when you pass up the opportunity to make your own statement, what statement are you going to make? A lot of Afro-American music has a meaning that is not obvious. A lot of it is in code. A lot of it, there are different things that have meanings. A lot of times it's related to a train. A lot of times it's related to traveling. A lot of times it's something related to freedom. There's no doubt that Maya Angelou knows exactly all of the codes and all of the things that I'm telling you about. It's a cultural thing. It's a part of growing up that way. It's in her writing. It's in her way of speaking. It's in her way of walking through the world. She didn't have to tell me. The question maybe was she didn't know whether I knew it or not.
The codes are available to those who understand them.
And that is the thing that's alluring about her way of doing things.
I don't know how to separate the two, the poetry from the music. My mother believed that nice children should go to see 2 plays a year. She sent us to the Curran Theater, me and my brother, 1 year for a reading. And I read in the program that Gregory Peck was going to recite The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Well, I had that poem. I had all of Poe, everything I could memorize. I had never heard it, of course. Mr. Peck came out and took that Shakespearean stance that the actors do with the left foot out, 1 foot from the right, and he stood there and he said, "Once upon a midnight, dreary, as I pondered weak and weary." That's not the way that poem goes. It should be, "Once upon a midnight dreary, as I pondered weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, as I nodded, almost napping, suddenly I heard a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Merely this and nothing more. That's the way I heard it. I heard it that way, and that's the way I recited it to myself. And so I had all of these songs, really, that other people said were poems. When I said that the poem was good on paper, and even recited, it's good. But with Mr. Marsalis' music, it risks being close to great. It fits nicely in the ear. Well, I like that line. I'm going to keep that.